Welcome to PACTV Community News, your weekly news program about people, places, and events in Kingston, Pembroke, Plymouth, and Duxbury. I'm Kim Mio, and we want to start off this week by expressing our deepest sympathies to the victims of the Boston Marathon bombings.
I'm Larry King. All our thoughts and prayers are with those who have been impacted by this devastating event. During this week's edition, we visit Silver Lake High School's robotics team and travel with them to the first robotics competition in Boston.
Once you're out there, you don't get a grade outside. It either works or it doesn't.
Also this week, PACTV Community News presents an update on the state's bottle bill presented at a forum held in Duxbury.
I challenge anybody to name any other recycling initiative anywhere in North America that gets that sort of take back.
And we introduce you to Pembroke High School's chapter of Best Buddies.
I'm a buddy ambassador, and so we go around and we tell people how much the R word has affected us in a very big way.
We also drop by Plymouth North High School, which held a timely and powerful event on drinking and driving.
What we're trying to do is have this video be a tool for people to get this message to the youth in the best way possible.
You'll also learn about our town's recycling of textiles, and our health and wellness segment is back with more tips for your well-being.
It's all coming up on PACTV Community News. Kingston's Silver Lake High School's robotics team recently participated in a national robotics competition. First Robotics for grades 9 through 12 seeks to inspire high school students to pursue careers in science and technology. Silver Lake's robotics team traveled to Boston to participate, and PACTV Community News caught up with them for a rundown.
Back in September, I was approached by Kim to be an advisor to the robotics club, and it was something that I certainly wanted to take on because I think robotics is extremely important. I think that how we learn to interface with machines and the whole engineering aspect and the whole kind of applied science was very exciting and something I thought that we should have at the school. And so we moved forward, but I have to tell you that it's not mostly about what I did. I was just advising. It was really Kim that moved this team forward and put us in a place where we are.
In January, we learned the task of what the robot had to do. It was the kickoff, and Bridgewater Raynham supported us with that. And we learned that the game is Ultimate Ascent this year. So a robot has to be shooting frisbees on a 2-minute and 15-second match into 3 different level goals. And at the end, it is allowed to climb a 90-inch high pyramid. It can go to any of the 3 levels on it. And we decided, since we're a rookie team, we'd focus on shooting. So we focused on that. We built some prototypes, realized different things worked, some other didn't. We had a lawnmower design, we had a direct shooting design, and eventually we were down to the last week and we still hadn't decided on something. So in the last week we were able to finally build something, but when the cutoff date of 6 weeks ended, we didn't really have it working. But we've been working since then on the extra 30 pounds we can bring to the competition and work on our robot there, to get that shooter working, get a backup mechanism in there in case it doesn't, and hopefully do really well for our rookie season.
See, it's all about the students. Remember, this was student-driven. Kim was the one who started it, right? And she's the one who drove this whole thing forward. I was just advising. And that's how we model the entire team. It's about getting them the engineering experience. It's about getting them the experience building the robot. It's not about me building a robot or some of the engineers from the community that helped us building the robot. It's about the students learning to build this and what it's like to succeed at it, and quite frankly, what it's like to fail at it too. Because once you're out there, you don't get a grade outside. It either works or it doesn't. It's so win-win-win on every level, because the students win because they get to build this thing and be a part of it. The community wins because they get to see what these kids can do. The school wins because it's gonna, make our students that much more marketable, and from what they do getting into college to what they might do after college. And of course, it just snowballs into a kind of kind of could be potentially, I guess, a conduit, if you will, to one of the things that Silver Lake High School is all about.
Best Buddies is an international organization that serves students with disabilities by matching them with mentoring students. The Pembroke High School chapter held a forum last month to raise more awareness of the group, and PACTV Community News was there to meet up with them.
I don't think it's right to use the R word at all. Anytime, if someone says it in a very funny way, I tend to get very upset because, you know, not only are you offending me, per se, but you're also offending people with disabilities. You're also offending people without disabilities who have family members that have a disability. And not only that, it appalls me how many people think that they can say a word like that. I've never been called the R word, but you know what? If someone did call me the R word, I would personally get offended.
There are events all over the United States and the world. And it's the cause to end the R word. And we basically, and I'm a buddy ambassador, and so we go around and we tell people how much the R word has affected us in a very big way. Anytime I hear it, it's like, it gets me upset. It gets me very emotional.
We do have more of an integrated system now, and Best Buddies is really trying to take it to the next step and make sure that, yes, we are in the same building now, but they are in a classroom by themselves, kind of down on the bottom floor. So now Best Buddies is really trying to get them out there into the other classrooms and contacting other students.
As you know, the R word affects me in a, anytime I hear it, I feel sad, it's disrespectful, it's never right to say it, and you know what, it's never a right thing to say at all.
How many other schools have you gone to for this?
Oh man, this is just, oh man, I've been to a lot of schools and talked to them about spread the word to end the word, about my life, a lot. I've basically lost count. I live in Somerville, and I've been involved with Best Buddies for over 6 years now. It's beginning to be my 7th year. And I turned 21 in May. Yeah, I feel old. But you know, Best Buddies has changed my life dramatically over these past 6 years.
So the R word campaign is the spread the word to end the word, which is the word retard and retarded. And the intellectually and developmentally disabled people find that word very offensive to them. And you know, they get emotional from it, and it's not right to use that word.
Every day you live life to the fullest. And you know, I just want people to see me as a really good person in their life, someone who can be friendly, who is a good friend, and you know, I can say a very exciting person.
Plymouth North High School recently held a forum about the dangers of drinking and driving. With parental presence required, the event showcased the video Take My Keys, produced in part by the Plymouth Youth Development Collaborative, the Plymouth Police Department, and both high schools. The video, popular on iTunes, features a rapper who wrote about his own personal tragedy from a drunk driving accident. PACTV Community News was there.
A little over a year ago, I realized that my music was getting a little buzz on the internet, and I was gaining more listeners and more fans. So I decided to take a personal story from my life, write about it, make a song, and I wanted to make a video to try and help spread awareness about drinking and driving and the risks and the effects it has on other people, and basically just raise awareness through music, give it a different way of trying to get through to kids.
This event basically is showing the video to all the students and parents, especially students that are about to graduate. So it's like a kickoff pre-prom season thing that they're doing, and I think it's a wonderful idea.
We hope that our students reflect as they leave tonight, and we hope that students in the future will have the opportunity to see something very similar.
The song is based on Matt Clark's own experience. So it comes from a real corner. It's not just written, it's written, but it's based on his own, what he's lived through.
You kind of use it as a tool for school administrators, youth, etc. It's basically a medium that's more applicable to the youth. So where, PSAs, they kind of get boring. Kids they see that and they're like, oh, it's not going to happen to me. Where this is, rap music, something that's more targeted to them and can really drive that story home. Basically what we're trying to do is have this video be a tool, as I said before, be a tool for people to get this message to the youth in the best way possible.
I reached out. I'm from Plymouth, so I decided, you know what, I really want to make this happen for these folks, and I completely reached out and I met with the Chief of Police, Mike Botteri, and from there, he introduced me to a whole bunch of powerful people, him included, from the Plymouth Youth Development Collaborative. And I pitched a project to them. They loved it. Everybody jumped on board. And literally 10 days later, we were shooting this amazing video. And it was surreal how many people came forward to help us with this, because it's a great cause. Everybody thought, let's do it. And so, we had access to Jordan Hospital, to this amazing high school, to students, to a crash car, to a jail, police cruisers, police officers, ambulance. I mean, everything that's in the video, it all came down in one weekend, and it was fabulous.
Hi, my name is Olivia Larson. I got contacted by Carolyn to be involved with the Take My Keys video. She told me that Matt was doing a song about drunk driving and just all the real problems it can cause. And being a high school student and being 16, I know drinking and driving is a real issue. So I thought it would be a good thing to be able to reach out to students, especially with the music. It's a way for them to relate. And I think this video can really just show them what can happen in a way that it's easier for us to understand.
And the great part of that is that it opened a complete other door as well. We're being asked to do events like this in high schools for pre-prom season. People have reached to us from newspapers, from local access channels. So I think it's not just going to be a music video. It's being used across several high schools for the pre-prom season. And that makes me really happy, because that's what we did it for.
State Representative Josh Cutler in Sustainable Duxbury recently hosted an informational meeting about the proposed new bottle bill for Massachusetts. The proposed new state legislation is expected to provide economic incentives for consumers to recycle and reuse bottle materials. PACTV Community News went to the meeting and brings you this story.
Despite the fact that we have broad support in the public and even broad support in the legislature, there are some powerful folks who have not been supportive of this bill. And the challenge that lies before us in this session is to get all of our people lined up behind this bill to push it forward and finally get this update accomplished. We can talk more about how you can be part of that. We need everybody's help. But why don't I pass this along and hear from the other panel members, and then happy to take additional questions.
When you're looking at something that recycles 80%, as Phil stated earlier, of the materials that are included under the law, that's just a runaway success, and I'd challenge anybody to name any other recycling initiative anywhere in North America that gets that sort of take back. But times have changed, and we recognize that these beverages that are out here on the table constitute 40% or more of the current beverage industry and what you're seeing on the shelves in your local supermarkets. So when the law was made 30 years ago and hasn't been updated to change with the times, we understand that modifications should be made. You know, Duxbury's not a large city, certainly, so you're maybe not talking about savings in the hundreds of thousands of dollars annually, but you're looking at a chunk.
The residential trash, you know, in the early 20th century, roughly, and it mainly consisted of ashes and bones, and it was a public health issue at the time, and because they didn't want it thrown out in the streets. But over the century that's ensued, consumer products have just exploded, and you know, what can we sell you next? You know, the economy has gone, you know, from kind of a circular natural cycle to a linear cycle of, you know, extraction, purification, manufacturing, distribution, consumption, and disposal, and it's a one-way street. And the municipality has ended up holding this big giant bag at the end of the road.
The issue of what happens with the unredeemed deposits. I believe under the original legislation, or early on in the history of the bottle bill system, the unredeemed deposits that were held by the state were directed to environmental projects and supporting recycling in particular. There was a point during one of the state's recurring fiscal crises when the decision was made, unwisely in my view, to take that money out of that dedicated fund and put it into the general fund, where, of course, it rapidly was dissipated, who knows on what. The bill that we have filed to expand and update the bottle bill would reinstate that clean environment fund so that any unredeemed deposits that come to the state would go to environmental purposes, recycling in particular.
Recycling textiles is the goal of a Pembroke company. Recycling paper and plastic is well established, but Pembroke's Bay State Textiles recycles clothing, cushions, shoes, and linen. They work with our towns and schools by setting up donation trailers that give back money for every ton of textiles donated. Bay State works in all our communities, and PACTV Community News traveled with their recycling development coordinator to our towns to learn more about each program.
My name is Catherine Larson. I'm the Recycling Development Coordinator for Bay State Textiles, and we're based out of Pembroke, Mass. Bay State Textiles works with schools and municipalities on the problem of textile waste. There's over 520 million pounds of textiles ending up in landfills and incinerators in Massachusetts alone every year. The textiles that we collect are clothing, shoes, pocketbooks, bed linens, stuffed animals, anything with a fabric base. Part of our program is to keep the revenue generated from the rebate in the community that we're servicing.
Bay State Textiles is a company that comes and takes all our used clothing, linens, and shoes, and they take it off the property, and for every ton of clothing and stuff that was donated, the town gets $100 back in our coffers. We started this program back in September of 2012, and so far we've taken in almost $1,000 in rebates from clothes that were donated to this trailer. It's saving us, as taxpayers, money from throwing into the main hoppers that we take to CMAS.
We've had a very successful trailer program here at the Duxbury Transfer Station. Last year, in 2012, Duxbury reclaimed over 100 tons of textiles. That's generating a rebate of $100 a ton to their town, and also keeping it out of the waste stream and helping with the trash tipping fees. For Plymouth, we just launched their school box program, placing a box at each school. Based on the tonnage that comes out of the box, it's generating revenue for the schools.
Our goal is to find ways to work with community organizations and with our area businesses in innovative ways that benefit both the schools, our students, and the businesses and organizations that are involved.
Ethan and I are both part of the Marketing Technical Studies program here in Plymouth, and we are both marketing DECA students.
DECA is an international marketing program for high school students that helps give them real-life business situations inside high school to help them further inside their high school and business experience out of life.
A big part of DECA that we focus on is a community service project where we focus on taking our school and trying to help the community in as many ways as possible. And that's where our recycling project comes into our education with DECA.
We're helping out the Bay State Textiles Company, which helps to create revenue within the school systems by recycling old and unused clothing. They have a friendly competition going on where each school, for each ton of clothes that they bring in, our school gets $100. Out of all the elementary schools, the top two will win $250 for their school, bringing inside the most clothes. The top middle school and high school will win $500 for their school for the most clothes brought in.
This program is a perfect example of how we can all work together. It's a way for money and resources to flow into our schools, for our kids to get involved in promoting the program. It's also a huge benefit for our town in reducing the amount of waste that ends up in our waste station. And of course, it's a benefit to our environment as well.
We want as many students and parents to be involved as possible, so we would really appreciate your help in donating as many clothes as possible to our recycling program.
For the taxpayer, for the resident, the more that you put your unwanted textiles into our trailers or our school box program, the more you're benefiting your community. So reduce, reuse, and recycle.
Donation trailers are located at your town's transfer station and can accept clean and dry textiles in any condition. Bay State Textiles is in the process of working with Pembroke Public Schools on a school box program. If you would like to learn more about this program, you can call Bay State Textiles out of Pembroke. So before you toss old shoes, out-of-style clothing, well-used linen, and seat cushions, why not recycle instead?
The Town of Pembroke's 300th Anniversary Committee and local Boy Scouts will have a tree planting event on April 27th and 28th. Volunteers are needed. 100 cedar trees will be planted at Windswept Bogs, located at 91 Glenwood Road in Pembroke, to help maintain the purity of the town's drinking water supply. All are welcome to attend.
The Duxbury Art Boosters plan a youth arts and crafts fair in April. Over 50 kids from 13 area towns will be selling their handmade crafts on Saturday, April 27th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Duxbury's High School, which is located at 130 St. George Street. There will be entertainment and activities throughout the day, plus live music and food. To see a schedule, visit the website below or find Duxbury Art Boosters on Facebook. Admission is free, and this event supports the Duxbury Art Boosters.
Hello everybody, this is personal trainer Jamie Pooler here at Plymouth Fitness for PCN's Health and Wellness. Today we're going to be talking about resistance training. Whether you're trying to increase your metabolism, have general health purposes, or just trying to get ready for beach season, resistance training is something that everybody can fit into their routine. Today we're going to be showing you a series of basic exercises. We have my lovely assistant Adasha here to help you out. So let's go through some of those exercises for you. The first exercise we're going to be doing is a bodyweight lunge. This is a great exercise for your glutes and hamstrings. Notice that when someone does a proper bodyweight lunge, they take a nice big step forward. This is going to make sure that their knee lines up over their ankle and doesn't track out past their toes. That's going to make sure that you never have any knee injuries when you're doing this type of a movement. Also, their back foot is always going to have those toes pointed forward. The next exercise we're going to be showing you is the dumbbell bench press. Doing this exercise, you're going to hold both dumbbells by your shoulders and then slow and controlled, bring them up, press them together, and slowly bring them back down. Notice when doing this exercise, the person has what we call 5 points of contact. Both feet, their butt, and their back, and their head are always making contact with the bench or the floor. This is a great exercise for your chest and triceps. The next exercise we're going to be doing is a lat pull down. This is a great exercise to work all those muscles in your back. Notice that the person is sitting nice and upright. They have a very slight lean back. This is to make sure that the bar doesn't hit them in the top of the head. They're going to pull their elbows outward in a slow, controlled manner and rest the bar at the top of their chest and then return to the starting position. Remember guys, resistance training at least 3 times a week means more muscle. More muscle means a higher metabolism, which means you're burning more calories on a day-to-day basis. Also, resistance training is the #1 way to prevent osteoporosis and to keep your joints nice and healthy. I'm personal trainer Jamie Pooler. Thank you for watching PCN's Health and Wellness segment.
Hi, I'm Melissa Origi, Town Manager in Plymouth, and we had an exciting town meeting just a few weeks ago. I think what residents are going to be able to see is beautification and projects running all the way from North Plymouth, where we start out with Veterans Park. The CPC purchased a house there, which they are going to then tear down. It will be a beautiful entrance to Veterans Park. Down the waterfront area, town meeting approved $1.25 million for a new T-Wharf. Now, we certainly have to match those funds, so David Gould, the environmental manager, is working now to receive another $3.5 million in Seaport funding to pay for that project. Certainly many of you have expressed interest in the 1,000 headstones that will be restored at Burial Hill, as well as the tree work there. And I've spoken before on this segment and at town meeting and certainly out to the public about the work we're doing at the 1820 courthouse. That bid is actually advertised today. We are looking for an architectural firm to help us with the plans that we have there to answer the question of can that be a government center, which would be town hall services and possibly school administration. You will see sewer expansion being done in the Samoset Street area, and now Plymouth has the ability to assess betterments to those businesses that will be tying into that system. And certainly all the way down to Whitehorse Beach, where a community preservation article was able to purchase a home down there that will be leveled and will be able to put in public restrooms. So I think those are all improvements, and it's nice to have town meeting action where you'll physically be able to see things in the community. One of the biggest subject matters at town meeting, and certainly here now at town hall, is curbside pickup was approved. So how that will work is curbside pickup program will start on January 1st of 2014. So for the first few months from this summer, July, right through to the end of December, it will be business as usual, with the exception of you can go to those 3 transfer stations, but you'll be carrying special orange bags that can be purchased at local stores. So as you come into Town Hall over the next few weeks to purchase your transfer station services, you'll be one of 4 types of customers. The first group, Group A, is being called Can't Wait for Curbside. Those are those individuals in the community that have been going to the transfer station or possibly using another method to dispose of their trash. They'll continue to do that, but they will be going into curbside immediately on January 1. The second group will be called the year-round hauler. Those are people that have elected to go to the transfer stations, all 3 at the beginning of the year, and then they will narrow that down to just 1 transfer station, Matamet, anytime after January 1st. The third type will be the works. Those are people, and there are some residents out there that want full flexibility. They want to have transfer station services, all 3 in the beginning of the year, and then just Matamet, and they also want to have curbside pickup. Maybe they have large families or gatherings, so those people are really going to purchase the works. They'll pay for all of that. They'll pay around $80 for one, a little over $100 for the other, and then they'll buy all their bags, but they've chosen to do that. And then the fourth group will be welcome new customers. And those are for people who have really never been to the transfer stations, haven't done that before. They've maybe never used our solid waste services. So this will be the program for them. They'll just start their curbside pickup January 1st. Now, if you are one of those, that group of people, you want to still make sure that you come in May and June, early this summer, late spring, in order to pay for those services so that we can get you in the queue with the ABC disposal to have that curbside pickup. So it's an exciting time to be a town manager. It's a great time to be in this community. I think some of what you approved at town meeting and what your town meeting representatives approved will have a direct effect on your lives. And certainly if you ever want information about these projects or any of the other projects, reach out to me at the town manager's office on the 3rd floor of Town Hall, or contact any of the department heads. We're always happy to talk about all these great things that are coming down the pike.
Thanks for watching this week's edition of PACTV Community News. For replay times, go to pactv.org and click on the PCN logo. You can also find links for all our individual stories as well as our entire program.
PACTV Community News is found on our YouTube channel. Search by story or view the whole program. Also, be sure to like PACTV Community News on Facebook to receive previews and links to our stories.
We will see you next week on PACTV Community News.